Now, the other dynamic that's played out in international affairs has been the emergence of the concept of the global south, of which there is some rivalry over who's going to lead that. But maybe nowhere has it been more apparent than in the Middle East crisis of this last year between the Israelis, the Palestinians, and some of the neighboring countries in the region, and specifically the war in Gaza. It has been notable how few Latin American countries have come out on the United States position. Really, few countries in the world have taken the U.S.'s strong position in absolute support of the state of Israel. But it's been interesting to see the Latin Americans try to basically avoid as much as possible getting involved. And where they do get involved, they're more sympathetic, I think, to the cause of the Palestinians. I think that's a fair statement. But they know the world's watching, and they know that there's sort of a to some degree a keeping of score of who's saying what and how vocal they're being. So let's take the two parts of that question. One, your view of this concept of a global south. Does Latin America see it that way, or is that a construct of academics? And then number two, in the context of that, how these countries are thinking about these huge international issues like the Middle East and what position they should be taking to either be helpful, be mediators, or just stay out of it.
I think the global south is a useful analytical construct. In political terms, I'm not sure that most people in this global south wake up in the morning and say, let's go out and fight for the global south. I think that insofar as there are stronger voices coming from the global south, that they get their voices, they support it. Most South Americans don't think like Brazilians and don't say go Brazil, go and represent us. They want their own voice at the table, and so they will seek that voice. And then on issues like Israel, it cuts through a lot of different societies, cuts through a lot of racial things. South and Central and Caribbean friends will ask people like me and probably ask people like you, saying, "What is it about Israel that you guys have these blinders?" In this last week, for example, you welcome Netanyahu here. They stand up and applaud him in the U.S. Congress, and he tells things that just are factually incorrect about the way they've been prosecuting the war and about fatalities and things. But they also will say, 30,000 people, this is a month or two ago, 30 or 2 months ago, 30,000 people are killed and you guys aren't outraged, but then 7 white people are killed delivering meals by precision missiles that the U.S. provided Israel. And suddenly the White House is engaged and outraged and said, oh, this is too much and stuff. They see it as a little bit of a racial issue. And they say, what's wrong with you Americans? 30,000 Palestinians, yes, some fighters and some Hamas people that we don't like and we will never like and stuff, but come on. And you don't have to blow up an entire apartment building because there might be a tunnel underneath it that might have a couple of this, that, or the other thing. And so they wonder how come we've suspended that used to be considered that beautiful North American logic. So in that way, maybe the global South feels that they do have a little bit of a corner on the truth, and that they believe it's something worth protecting.